Well, everyone, we just got the sad news that Herschel Walker has lost his race for the United States Senate. Warnock, unfortunately, will continue to be one of Georgia's senators. And something I want to draw attention to is that Georgia, traditionally a red state, maybe now a purple state because of Atlanta, is literally represented as though it is a blue state. Georgia will continue to have two Democrat senators representing them in Warnock and Ossoff. I find this really weird because Brian Kemp, the Republican candidate, cleanly and clearly won his race for governor in Georgia this fall. So something is going on here where for some reason people are voting red for statewide offices, yet voting blue for nationwide offices. We apparently saw a very high turnout in the runoff, but it may not have been enough Republican voters turning out for Herschel. So what does this mean for us as a nation? This means that the Democrats will have a 51 majority, so an even greater majority than they had before. This means they will no longer need Kamala Harris as a tiebreaker vote. This also means that Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema will carry a little less weight than they had before in being able to block the runaway train of the radical Democrats. So this is all very bad news. But the good news is the Republicans have taken the House, so we have a narrow margin there. So we will hopefully be able to get some things done, hopefully be able to prevent the nation from getting far worse too quickly. But the House has had no say in confirming appointments. So those will likely all go through the Democrat-controlled Senate and presidency and be confirmed. But to be honest, I think the main silver lining when I look at the country right now is simply our Supreme Court. Our Supreme Court is about the only thing keeping our nation from going off of a cliff by focusing on the Constitution. If we didn't have a constitutionalist Supreme Court majority right now, we'd be living in full-blown crazy land. Many people are questioning and wondering what should be done about the Republican Party, considering our recent loss in Georgia and considering the midterms are now officially over. People are pointing the finger in all directions, and there's certainly a lot to unpack, but I want to focus on discussing the role of the RNC. Ronna McDaniel has been absolutely horrible. She's basically a Romney, that's her family. I'm not sure exactly what her ideology is. Some say it's like Romney's, some say it's like Trump's. I say it's like neither. Her ideology is one of whatever gets her the fanciest dinner, whatever gets her the most clout, and whatever deal she can broker within her party so she can stay in power. That's her ideology. When Trump was at the height of his popularity, she rode the Trump wave. When he's down, she does nothing to help him or his candidates. She doesn't come out against Trump like Romney would, but she's in it for herself. Harmeet Dillon, an amazing lawyer and woman I had the pleasure of being on the advisory board of Indian Voices for Trump with, would be a much better candidate. She actually cares about the Republican Party and actually cares about us winning. It's reported that she will be challenging Ronna McDaniel as RNC chairwoman, so more power to you, Harmeet. Now, you may be wondering what the purpose is of the RNC and why it's important as far as who's running it. Well, it's important for solely one reason. The RNC controls a lot of money, the purse strings. So if a candidate is helped with fundraising by the RNC, that could make all the difference for that candidate to win. But if the RNC abandons that candidate, that could sink them. The same could be said of Mitch McConnell's purse strings in manipulating the Senate. Different power players control different purse strings. Ron DeSantis has been building up his own arsenal of funds. Of course, Trump has a massive arsenal of funds he's raised. So the burden isn't on one entity to carry a candidate to the finish line, agreed, but it is the burden of all big players who want what's best for the party to do what they can to get our candidates across the finish line. And I think we need to do this as team players. This idea of someone only being a Trump candidate, so you're going to abandon them, or only being a McConnell ally is silly. Because at the end of the day, if this person is the Republican nominee and has the Trump endorsement, everyone needs to get behind them. We were successful in ousting the greatest rhino of all, Liz Cheney. But the reason we were successful in that is we stuck together and we all realized that that was necessary. She's widely despised. She's wildly unpopular. So that helped us a lot. Sure, she had the help of Paul Ryan and Bush Republicans, but I'm not considering them part of our team. They're has-beens and outdated. They're gone. They're not the future or in office. When I say the Trump wing and Republican wing need to align, I mean the current Trump wing. And when I say the Republican wing again, I mean current. So Ronna McDaniel, Kevin McCarthy, people who are in power. People like that who have power, have money, they're leaders of our party. If some retired person like Paul Ryan, who sells himself to corporations to put his name on the docket, wants to be involved, he can do that, but it's meaningless and we can't control him or influence him. He's gone. His money may have some influence, but that's it. His word means nothing. So as we look forward, we need to develop a unified strategy for 2024 and come up with new ways of reaching voters, even if this means early voting where it's legal. We need to reach hardcore MAGA Republicans in red districts, and we need to reach swing voters in purple and blue areas. We proved we know how to do that with Lee Zeldin. So we need a party that includes them, as well as Marjorie Taylor Greene and others. We need to overwhelm the Democrats in 2024 in the election. They have a lot of seats coming up, so it's actually our turn to win. We have the chance to win big, but we need to get our act together.